Okay, so here is day 9 and day 10. Um, I figured I better go ahead and do this now. I didn't do one yesterday because my phone battery ended up dying shortly after I got home from taking Padre for a walk. So, update from yesterday, had a really great day. It was the first day the kids were back to school. That went really well. I got up, did my Bible reading. I had forgot to prep breakfast, so I ended up getting Jack in the Box, and that kind of sucks. Let's see. And then when I came home, I went ahead and took Padre for a long walk. We did like an hour long out to the neighborhood that's across the street from our apartment complex. It's a walk that we used to do pretty regularly, and then I got concerned about his health because these people like to leave their trash out on the curb, not in a trash can. And then so bones, he kept finding like chicken bones and pork chops and steak bones and stuff, and cooked bones are not good for dogs. They get all brittle and then they break and stuff and tear up their intestines. So we stopped doing the walk for a while, but while the weather's been nice, I've really been wanting to get him out, and he's a little too reactive to stay in the apartment complex, but I've noticed that when we're out in the neighborhood that he does better because he's more engaged with the environment, actually like sniffing and looking around, as opposed to being reactive when he sees people and dogs. So it's definitely a much better walking environment for us. As it turns out, we did the same walk again today, and of course he found another freaking bone. Other than that, the walk went well. He did much better. We kind of got back to some of our leash manners that were missing yesterday, I think, from the excitement of just being out. Because of that, I did my Bible reading in the mornings, but the last 2 days, I haven't been going and working out in the morning, and I've been counting these hour-long walks as my exercise for the day. It's not super intensive, so I'm not burning a ton of calories, but at this point, I think it's just important for me to be up and out and moving. As far as the rest of the day, I did prep some eggs, and I made a smoothie. So for breakfast, I had a really healthy breakfast. For lunch, I just had a sandwich. And then for dinner, I had some leftover pasta. I'm sitting at about 1,500 calories for the day. I'm pretty excited about that. Sorry, I keep looking. We were sitting on the couch earlier, and then we started playing, and he went to snuggle me, and then he tricked me, and then he bit me. Not hard. It was one of his play bites, but he got me right in the lip. And so I just keep looking at this red spot that's on my bottom lip here. Sorry about that. It's a little weird. And it feels weird. So I noticed that it's there. I'm trying to think of anything else. I did start doing some tax prep today, trying to get an idea of what my refund's going to look like, so I can have an idea of how far along in my house buying process I will be after tax time. That's assuming that tax refunds are going to be issued while the government shut down. That's also assuming that the government's going to continue to be shut down for a prolonged period of time. Let's see. I got to have a nice chat with Brooke today after work, my coworker that I went out with for New Year's Eve. So that was fun. It's always really nice because I feel like we can talk about a lot of things. Sometimes the chats end up being a little longer than I would like, only because I was kind of in a rush to get out the door because I wanted to walk Padre before it got dark. I wanted to make sure we got home while it was still light out. But the talk is nice. We have a lot of things in common, and it's just nice being able to have like educated conversation with somebody. I'm trying to think. One of my students asked me why he has to take art. We don't have very many who don't like art. It seems to be one of the favorites. The teacher is amazing, so the kids always want to be up there working in his room. But this particular student was like, why do I even have to take art? So I got to have a really nice conversation with him about why art is important, especially in education. Talking about how art is one of the things that makes us human. You know, there have been drawings for longer than there's been a written language. We communicated in pictures before we had language, or written language at least. Wherever you find people, you find art, visual art, auditory art, all kinds of things. It's just what makes us human. And then also talked about having an appreciation for the arts. So even if he never wants to become a visual artist, having an appreciation for the things that he purchases that are created by visual artists. He is really into nice shoes. He loves his Nikes. He happened to be wearing a really nice pair today. And so I made it a point to ask him if he doesn't think it's important to appreciate the people who create and design the things that he likes. So even if he doesn't want to be a creator of art, appreciating those who do is really important. And then we also talked about, especially in an education setting, that you don't really know if you like something until you try it. You can sometimes have a good idea if it's going to be something that you enjoy, but you don't really know. And when done correctly, education can be a place where you explore those things without too much fear, I think. Again, when done correctly in an ideal environment, which I really think our school is. Because it's an alternative setting, we focus on content mastery. It's not about the sit and get type of setting. And so these kids really get a chance to learn and to try without much fear of failure. There are opportunities for correction. There are opportunities for reteaching, for learning in a new way. But there really is no failure. We keep trying until we reach that content mastery level. So especially at our school, trying these electives, these things like art, like music, like business, really give you an idea of whether or not it's something you want to pursue. And it's something that's very personal to me, because I wouldn't be where I am without attempting these endeavors, and especially by taking a class in school that I wasn't sure if I would like, and then it turned out to lead me to my passion. When I first enrolled in college, my very first semester, I was a mass communications major. I really thought I was going to be a political speechwriter. Someday I was going to have an office in the White House. That was the dream. That was the goal. Things kind of shook up, and I found myself at a different university this time pursuing liberal arts. And I decided to do the liberal arts because looking at the degree plan, I was able to try a little bit of everything in the arts and humanities field. So I did that. And in pursuit of that, one of the classes I needed to take was a sociology class. Really excited about it because I've always enjoyed studying people, understanding what makes people tick. But I liked sociology as opposed to psychology. I love psychology, but sociology was more interesting to me because it's not just about the individual. It's about the group dynamic. It's how we participate in society, in culture, that really mutualistic, reciprocal relationship between people in society. One of the things that we learned in sociology was the term anthropology. What? Anthropology? The study of people. Okay, I get that. But then it was like, holy crap, the study of people. All people in all places at all times. This is like the be all end all. Forget psychology, forget sociology. Anthropology is like at the top. It all begins like right here. And I didn't look back. I eventually went on to get my bachelor's in applied anthropology and an unofficial minor in linguistics because I really loved the idea of how language plays a role in culture, how symbiotic it is, that language affects culture and culture affects language, and cross-cultural transfers, things of that nature. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, that's a big thing that drew me in. And so, seriously, I would not have found myself in that place had I not taken a class that led me there. I didn't set out to find anthropology. Sadly, it's not something that's really talked about in high school. Really, in college, honestly, I hadn't even heard of it until I had taken this other class. So definitely need to start, I don't know, like advertising for it more somehow. But it's important to me that these kids try things. Try things. Just try something. You take it for a semester. You decide you don't like it. You never go near it again, but at least you tried. And at the end of it, you could come away with a new passion. I know, having been a teenager, they're just so young and yet so clear on what they do and don't like. They don't necessarily have their lives figured out or, know what they're going to be doing 20 years from now, but they seem very clear on what they do and don't like. They don't like English. It's weird. Until they get exposed to something that gets them excited. I actually had one of my students borrow a copy of The Scarlet Letter. And kind of tugged my heartstrings a little bit because that one's one of my favorites. So anyway, today was just a great day. I got to speak on something that I'm really passionate about, apart from English. I don't know. Sometimes I think if I just get one kid to try something new, especially in my class, somebody who says, "Oh, miss, I hate English, I'm bad at English, I hate reading, I hate writing, I hate grammar, I hate spelling." If I can just get them to find something in that class that they enjoy, like that's it. That's the dream. Don't really know where I was going with that. I think I was just rambling, but that's kind of the point of this vlog, right? It's just to ramble. I don't know. I guess that's it. Right now, Padre's hanging out with one of his Kongs. Probably should be doing dishes, but I did want to go ahead and get this done, like I said, before my battery died, which was the reason that I didn't do it yesterday. So, guess I'm signing off. Happy Wednesday.